Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dutch racing competition. I'm your host, I'm Kessa, and we are coming to you from round one live from Australia. As most people know, well, some people might know, the capital used to be Melbourne back in the early part of last century, and it's the only city to have an F1 race and a Grand Slam in the tennis. As you can see on screen, there is the track, 16 turns, 3 DRS sections, of which there are 2 detection points. We'll go through that a little bit later on. The most crucial part is the this straight here, this straight and the next straight. DRS section all by 1 point, and you can see Beaker and Mute battling there, as Spaghetti and Anthony battling in there into turn 3. A lovely sweeping move around the outside. This is the other design down into turn 13. Mason and Ace Creed battling out. Ace Creed getting pushed a little bit into the grass there, but still lovely move there by Meister. And now we'll have a quick rundown of the lineup we have here in the Dutch racing competition. Kimi and Vivekap in the Mercedes, Livid and Dan Verdan in the Ferraris. In the Red Bulls, you got Charifing and the returning champion of Meister. In the McLarens, you got Mute alongside Anthony once again. In Toro Rossos, we've got Cabs teaming up with the Yawn. In the Renaults, we've got Noosa and Busted. Let's hope that isn't Busted. In the Alphas, we've got Erzmeister, or Dennis as he'll be known, alongside fan favourite Jumboy. In the Racing Points, you've got Nathan and Doctor. And in the Hasses, Fluffy Balls up alongside Absinthe. And once again, the duo of Just Chillin' and Beaker in the Williams. And as most of you know, over the weekend we lost a potential F1 driver in the shape of Antoine Hubert, and DRC would like to pay tribute to him. Antoine Hubert sadly will be missed. Well, yeah, GP3 champion, and will forever be the GP3 champion, as there's no more GP3. It's now known as F3, so he'll be forever the last GP3 champion. But as a great man once said, the show must go on. We might mourn his loss, but he wouldn't want us to hang around and mourn forever. So let's get to it here with the Australian Grand Prix for DRC. On the screen you can see said track map. I have unfortunately forgotten to get my own track map up on my other screen, so I'm just going to do that quickly. But yeah, you can see the detection zones for these DRSs. That detection zone 2 is so short after the first DRS zone. Even if you make that overtake into 13, you're going to be coming under pressure almost immediately from the second DRS zones. The two link together, cross start finish line down into turn 3. We'll see the majority of the overtakes on that DRS into turn 3. and then using the rest of the track to get ahead and stay ahead. And let's switch on then into the race. That's about what I'm looking for. Hopefully that is in the race. There we go. So yes, as you can see, it's a little bit wet. I kind of like it when there's a bit of rain in the air. It just makes things a little bit more interesting. All drivers sitting with full wets on. Whether that's interesting or not, we'll find out. There is absolutely no activity yet, so you have not missed a single thing. When I say a single thing, I mean I'm just looking here. I can't see any of those pit crew moving, other than that guy in further camp who's typing on the computer. So we'll hopefully have some action for you in a moment. I don't even have a hot lap to show you, unfortunately. I will... Yes. Oh, I hear some engines. We're getting some action. Who's going to be the first man to brave the wet track here in Australia? It's looking like it is moving down there in the Red Bull. So it is a Red Bull. And a Racing Point actually comes out just ahead. Obviously, people need to... It's not as simple as quick stick that setup on. It's a case of, right, it's raining now. Is it going to be wet during the race? Do I need to take that into account for this qualifying? Or can I just go full ham? And just knowing it's going to be dry in the race. That's kind of the interesting part, where you got a dynamic weather. It could be tipping it down like it is now for the qualifying, and then tomorrow it could be bone dry with beautiful sunny skies, a nice warm track. We'll see how that pans out. I have now got my track map up on. My circuit length is 5.3 kilometres. The lap record in a race is done in 2004 according to this website, which is the official website, so it's probably close to being accurate. Of 1 minute 24 done by Michael Schumacher. We'll see if we can beat that one in the race. As Jorn is first man to test out the waters, quite literally. He'll be punching a little dry line in, and as more and more cars go over that dry line, will start to improve, and he'll start to just get a little bit more grip, and hopefully towards the end of the session we might see it turn to a state where a couple of people are going to risk it for the inters. We'll see if it works out well for him or not, as the case may be. This is official. Technically, this is a street circuit, even though when you compare it to places like Singapore, Monaco, your other traditional street circuits, there's so much more room. The track is a bit wider. There's no barrier. Well, there are some barriers right up against the track, like just here, for example. But in comparison, there's so much more space if you have a little off. I would say, based on just how it is, this is a very traditional track. There's gravel traps on this. You don't get many tracks with gravel traps in this day and age, but they still have them. The layout for this, I don't think it's changed as far as I can remember for a very long time. So yeah, I mean, the only thing might have changed might be a radii on a corner might have been tightened or relaxed a little bit over the years. But they've not gone for the traditional, what's now, sorry, not traditional, now the sort of the long runoff zones, no gravel. Gravel has its benefits and its disbenefits. It slows the cars down very well. However, if a car digs in, it will flip. That's the downside of gravel. As Jorn's finding the downside of trying to drive on a wet track as he slides around some of these corners. We will do a full-on proper hot lap in a moment. We're just hoping to see some times come in. This is where you're going to see a lot of people crash out. This turn 12, it's known by myself as Vegas Corner, after he was one of the first drivers to crash out on that corner on one of my first commentary stints. As such, it has been named after him. I don't think he likes it too much, but we've got to name a corner after him, so we named it after him. Or named the corner after someone. As Jorn's going to come around the final corner, Williams ahead of him, sliding all over the place. Jorn's sliding all over the place. He's going to come across the line and set a 137.138. We don't really know what times we can expect from people. Beaker's had a little spin there. Let's have a quick look. Did he manage to keep it out of the wall? It looks okay. He's just binned it coming off the corner. Let's have a quick look. See someone on a hot lap. Julian aggressively going across that corner. He might have just invalidated there. But we'll stay on board with him. He's just coming up to the final few corners. And see if he does actually complete this time. A few more times have come in. You've got the two Hasses down there in 5th and 6th. Some large gaps, obviously, as you might expect in a weather like this, appearing. Yellow in sector 2 and 3. Obviously, some people are finding it a little bit too slippy. As Julian comes up towards the line, let's see what can he do. Did he invalidate? Or did he set time? He didn't invalidate. He said a 36.224. Puts it at the moment into P1. Let's have a look. Where's Doctor? He's early in the lap. Jumboy is coming towards the end of his lap. Fan favourite from last season. Let's see if he can keep the fans happy as he's coming up to the final few corners, just fighting that alpha. It does in weather like this, it feels more like sailing than driving, just going the best you can. Jumboy comes to the line now. He goes P7. Reputable time from him. Jumboy has just Nathan, sorry, has just started his laps. We'll come back to him later on. His teammate is coming up towards turn 11 as Anthony, actually, he's going towards the end of the lap. Dennis is just in front of him on an out lap. And so I'll stay with Anthony for a little bit and just see if he can get a time in. No DNF so far, so far so good. We've got 12 minutes left of this session. Dennis is all over the place coming off that final corner. Anthony's getting a little bit of a toe off him as he comes down towards the line. He goes P7, 38.22 for him. Doctor, I believe, is coming towards the end. Yes, he is. So let's have a quick look at him coming up towards the final corner. It's 1:30 at the moment. Power down then from Doctor, and see what can he get. It is a 38.425 from him, whereas his teammate Nathan, he's coming up towards turn 13. A little bit on the grass there. I'm missing the apex a little bit, but I mean, sometimes you just got to get a lap in situations like this, get a time on that board, because you just never know who DNFs later on, especially if the track starts to dry up. It's going to be important for him to get a time up there. He just comes around the final corner, power down now. As soon as you straighten up, get that power down. If you put the power down too soon, you can just lose that back end. And Nathan does a 39.640 as... So look at Dennis. There are a few people doing multiple laps. Still on board with Dennis as he'll come up towards the final few corners and see if he can get himself up there. Chari from 5 place grip penalty for a collision with Jumboy. That's not good. That camera angle's not a lot of use either. The Maester goes fastest. Don't know why Chari thinks the camera's just looking at the pit lane. Come on. He doesn't like him. Dennis then coming up towards the line. What time's he going to put up now? It's good enough for P15. So there's a few jumping up there. Maester is still the fastest. Driving's finally got a camera worthy. Has he picked up any damage? He has. That front left has taken a bit of a knock. So he'll be bringing this one back to the pits. Furthercamp is out there in the Mercedes. He's just started flying up. Yellow flags around him, so he's going to have to be careful. Let's have a look further down. Let's have a look at Beaker, see how he's getting on. He's in mode 0, so he's not pushing too hard just at this moment. Last time he pushed hard, he spun the car. Anthony has... Has he just slowed down? He's just slowed down to get out of people's way. Or has he run out of fuel? I think he's run out of fuel. It does actually look that way. Anthony has run out of fuel. 9 minutes left of the session, so he's got plenty of time, and he's right by the pit lane anyway, so no issues there. Where's Mesa doing? He's coming up towards the... He's not on a flying lap, he's on his way to either start or to go into the pits. Julian just driving a bit of debris there. Well, let's have a look further camp. He has nearly completed a lap then. He's coming up to the final few corners. Currently down in 18th, so just needs to put a time on the board realistically from this point. And see what he can get. Running out of ERS, which is kind of unusual in the wet weather because you don't want all that power down as you come off the corner. You want a bit measured. He goes P12 for now. Let's have a look. Is Beaker going against? Yes, Beaker's going against. So let's do a full-on lap then with Beaker. We've not done one as yet. But this is the home straight coming into turn 1 and 2. This will sort the drivers out at the start as they'll be battling, and then this is next DRS straight down here. I've unfortunately lost my map, but I know some of the corners. This is turn 3, so opportunities to overtake through this corner. Plenty if there's DRS, obviously. Through turn 4, don't run too wide on the exit. That policeman out there is nasty. You can actually get stuck on top of that. Turn 5 in the race, that'll be full pace. In the dry, wet, it's a little bit more shaky. Turn 6, then turn right, and then open it up through turn 7, and then through this long right-hander at turn 8. Coming up towards the Clark chicane 9 and 10, similar to the opening corner, sort of right, then it opens into a long left. Get that power down as soon as you dare in the wet, and through this long left-hander. Then DRS detection point coming up is just there for after turn 11 and 12. Vegas corner, turn 12. Try not to put it in the wall on the right hand side. So easy to do if you just get it a little bit too keen on the accelerator. Coming up then to turn 13. End of the DRS straight there as Beaker has a little bit of opposite lock go through there. Detection point just there for the home straight. That's quite far away when you think about it, because we're 2 corners away still at this point as we come through turn 15. And then turn 16 is there, which leads you onto the home straight and DRS for 2 straights as Beaker brings it into the pits. Just seen Dennis is actually going for inters. That could be interesting call. He's down there in the 17th, so it's a big risk, but it could work out well for him. As Bastard has done 1 lap, he looks like he's going for another. You'll find it a lot when people are on wet tyres that they just want to do a couple of laps on the wets, just to, because I mean, especially if they don't need to start on the wets, then why wouldn't they worry? They'll just keep going and going and going. Finding the grit as it develops, and try not to lose that back end. He's kept it out the wall. Char Riffing doesn't look like he's kept it out the wall. He's had another little spin as Julian goes fastest then with a 34.967. And Buster's backed out of his lap as John Boy goes through on an out lap. Let's have a look further on Tri-Rainer in the Ferrari. He and Dan Verdan teamed up quite well last season. Tri-Rainer's not on a fly, he's just lifted off in the middle of the straight there. Let's look at Fluffy Balls. He looks like he's going. That Delta looked like he was up as well, so 2 corners left for him. And we'll see, can he get himself up? Can he get himself into that top 5? Or even just up some more places? Every position is going to be so crucial here, and going to come across the line up into P7, so not too bad from him. And let's just have a quick look at the gaps. They are going to be quite substantial, as you can see. So Julian obviously P1, and I mean there's only 2 people within a second of him, and there's a second gap between 3rd and 4th. As you might expect in the rain, all things can change and things like that happen. Let's have a look then at P4. Absinthe in the Haas, and well, he's a long way to go. So let's have a look at the reigning champion Meister in the Red Bull, as Kimi has retired from the session down there in 18th. Actually, sorry Meister, I want to look at Dennis. Charif has got another 5-place penalty. He'll be starting at the back. That's 10 places so far for him. I think he's just seeing how many places he can nudge. Dennis is looking good actually. He's up by 8/10 on his previous best after 1 sector. Obviously his previous best was 5 seconds short of 5 seconds short of the best, and that's how you lose 5 seconds. Just not quite enough grip on those inters. He fancied it, but I think he might have overly fancied it, and there's a car ahead of him that's busted, getting out of the way. Dennis going through then turn 11 and 12. This car is sliding, but can he slide it up the grid? That's the big question. It may be a bit messy in places, but is it quicker? It does. The simple answer is no. He's lost it a couple of times. I think he'll probably lose it again on the final corner, as he'll get a bit too keen on that accelerator coming off it. We'll soon see if he doesn't bung this straight in the pits. No, he's going to go. See how keen he is on the accelerator. It's not too bad actually. I was expecting a bit more flair off that corner. And comes across the line, does improve by 1.6 seconds, up to P13 for him then. And he looks like he's going to go again. Let's have a look further up. Yawn is out on a flying. He's coming up through Vegas corner, turn 12. Doesn't do what Vegas did and put it in the wall on the right hand side. Noose is going a little bit slow, but fortunately well out of Yawn's way. And so he's coming up with 4 corners to go. And we'll see if he can put it up on that front row. It's Julian leading from Meister, then Yawn. Big gap still there, but I mean, it's all down to the drivers. It's not like in the dry where the drivers are going to be closely bound. The wet is just an absolute nightmare at times for some. Yawn goes second fastest, just behind Julian then. Look at that, 0.032 off the back of Julian. Julian did 7 laps on his wets. So if Julian was to switch on to fresher wets, if he doesn't DNF from a slide like that, then yeah. Right, let's have a look. Just Julian is just coming towards the end of the line. And he's going to be a bit slow, so we'll have a look at someone else. Where's Doctor? He is... Well, I just missed his delta, unfortunately, but he's on his way around. Dennis, he's up by a second again. If he can get... He's still sliding, that's the problem. And he's run out of fuel, unfortunately, and that is the worst place to run out of fuel, because he's now got to go the whole way around the track, and I think that's the end. That is going to be the end of his qualifying. We've got 1 minute 45 left. John Boy's still in the pits. He will not be coming out again. Too late for him. Nathan is going to get a flying lap under his belt. Sliding out that last corner. Charifing is still to set a time, but he does have 10 grid places, and he's left the session as a result. Julian then come out towards the line. He has done a fair few laps on these wets. Is he going to go faster? No, he's not. He's down by 7 seconds, so he's obviously just on a preparation lap, and he was going to go for it one more time. Let's have a look. Where's Yawn? He's coming up towards the line. He's 2 seconds down, so he's done another preparation lap. Meister doesn't look like he's on a preparation lap. He is currently going faster. And we'll see if he can get up there. And so, last few corners then for Meister. What is he going to do? He will have another one after this if he fancies it. He looks like he's got the fuel for it. Coming up towards the line now. And is he going to nick that P1? He's not. He just improves, but not by enough. He needs to find another 2/10 realistically to knock off Julian. 14 seconds left. Jumbo is done. Fluffy's done. Charifing's done. Let's have a look further back. Let's see Nathan. He is on some fresh wets actually. The only person currently out there on fresh wets. He's got a tri-rainer in front of him, so let's on board with Nathan. Can he get up from P15? No, he can't because he's coming into the pits. Where's Dennis? Dennis is limping home still. Tri-rainer coming up towards the line. Just lifted off before the line actually. He's 11 seconds down anyway, so not too much of an issue. Doctor, final corner for him. Up by a little bit. Can he move up by a little bit? He can't. He does actually end up going slower on that lap. Where's Lucy? He's a fair distance away now. Feathercamp. Feathercamp and Yawn. Yawn is just in front. Can Yawn nick this P1 off Julian? He's in Mo Zero, so the answer to that is no. Feathercamp comes across the line in 9th. Let's have a look. Where is Meister? Meister's coming up. There's a few corners left for him. Mute's retired from P8. Meister's lifted off, so that he's done. Absinthe is in the pits. He's done. Busted is still out there. Noosa, his teammate, is creeping towards the line. Dennis, as we know, is out of fuel, so we don't need to look at him. Last man then on the flying lap is busted. 2 corners to go, and we'll find out if that's what he went to school for. And the answer to that is no. Busted is done for the day. And the grid will stay as is then. No sudden changes on the last few laps. Julian takes P1 from Jorn. And only just then, only top 3 drivers separated by less than 2/10. Absinthe is just over a second away from Julian. Similarly with Busted, Beaker, Just Chilling. They're all quite tightly bound, 4th to 7th. Bit of a gap then between Just Chilling and Mute, who's again close with Feathercamp and Fluffy Balls. And then some other close gaps further back. Julian and Anthony quite close together. And there we go. So let's have a confirmation then off the grid, see if there's any other penalties other than Charifing. And Charifing, only person to have penalties, but he's starting last. You can't go further back than last. So if it is a dry race, then obviously those people have to start on. They can choose whatever they want, really. It does create a bit more strategy if it turns out to be a dry race. If it's a wet race, then it's free choice. So top 10 normally would be locked into the tyre choices if it was dry followed by dry. If it's wet followed by wet, they pretty much get free choice anyway. So there we go. Julian will start at the front with Jorn, last season champion Meister just behind him, with Absinthe, Busted, Beaker, Just Chilling. The 2 Williamses once again closely bound. We'll see if anything can separate them on the track. Last season they spent so much time battling each other, and towards the end started trying to battle Meister, and it is lovely blue skies here, so a bit of a change. And we will get into the race any moment. Obviously with sudden change of conditions, everyone's checks their setups, makes final adjustments. Obviously Parfumey is on, but they can make a few changes. Set the fuel levels, set the right tyres, set their strategies, and get everything ready for this race. And so underway for the formation lap. And let's have a look at the all-important tyre situation. So Julian starting at the front on mediums. He's going to come under a lot of pressure then, because the next 5 guys are all on softs. Just Chilling going for a split strategy with his teammate. No surprise there, kind of expected in all fairness. He'll be starting on the mediums, and only 3 other drivers, so 5 drivers in total starting on mediums. Julian, Just Chilling, Noosa down in 12th, Nathan in 15th, and Jumboy in 17th. And we'll see how it goes. Obviously, split strategies are kind of the way to go at times. Particularly if you are quite close to your teammate, you may want to fancy split strategies, hence Beacon Just Chilling split strategies. Jumboy and Dennis split strategies, because again they're close, and so are the racing points. Julian obviously fancying a little long run at the start. If he can keep ahead of everyone else from the word go, then he will be in a good place. And that's what it's going to come down to for Julian. He needs to stay ahead of the rest of the pack. If he gets overtaken on this opening lap or 2 by one of the softs, then it's going to come under a lot of pressure. So obviously you want to keep the guys who are going to stop behind you for as long as possible, so they can't use their soft compound and get a lead from you. So what's going to happen is Julian will pit much later than the soft guys, be then on softer tyres with less fuel in that car and be able to really push. But we'll see how he does come the race. As we're just now waiting for everyone to take up positions on the grid. Charifing at the back after no time in qualifying and 2 lots of 5 grid place penalties. He'll be just trying to keep his nose clean off this starting line. As they all taken up positions now. And we'll be able to start his orders any moment. Four red lights, 5 red lights. They're off, and we're off then for the Dutch racing competition here in Australia. Julian getting away, getting swamped off the line by Jorn. Jorn's going to lead into turn 1, and Julian dropping down a few places. A little bit of contact further back between the Williams and Mute, as everyone looks to get away cleanly off the line. And Yes, so Julian dropping like a stone. He's down to 5th already. And he's trying to go round the outside. Busted a little bit slidey through that corner. A few cars bumping the curbs in the backgrounds. And that is Beaker running a little bit wide, coming off the corner. And he's going to lose place to Mute. Julian is battling now with Busted. He's got Mute just behind him on those softs. Mute's going to want to come past as soon as he can and get up after Busted. But Julian is now back in it. He's got those tyres back up to temperature. Jorn's taken the early lead. He will have Mesa and Absinthe all over his tail. Julian a little bit opposite lock. And that's Mute spun and collected by Feathercap and a few other drivers. That is a big crash. Mute is trying to get going, but he's now going to be plumb last. And that is a Haas then of Fluffy Balls. And also Dennis in the wall. Not entirely sure what's happened to Dennis. Maybe that's why Julian had that little wobble in the middle of the corner. He got nudged by Mute. And Char Effing gets a 5-place penalty, a 5-second penalty after getting yellow flagged. Making a move during the yellow flag. Just chilling on the back end of Beaker. Is there damage on these Williams? There's definitely some contact. Yes, there's front left damage there on Beaker's car, and he's bringing that straight in the pits. And he'll probably, I don't know what he's going to go for. He might go for hards, he might go for mediums. Yeah, he has unleashed his teammate now as times are starting to adjust themselves. We've got a busy pit lane. John Boy in the pits along with Tri-Rainer. Fortunately, it doesn't appear to be any double stops except for Dennis, who will be coming in a little bit later. But by that point, John Boy will be well clear. Let's have a look at Feathercamp. That was Dennis having a little slide in the last corner. Somehow we avoided a virtual safety car or any form of safety car through that. Let's have a quick look at that opening lap. What does that mean for the position changes? Top 4 all up 1 as Julian down 4 places. Chari from a decent start did pick up a 5-second penalty for overtaking under the yellow flag. He's up 8 at the moment. Beaker is down 8. Kimi up 5, avoiding all the chaos on the opening lap. Has worked out well for him. So Jorn is still leading. Mesa is on his back end. We don't have DRS this time. We will get it next lap around. So on that straight we just were on will be the first DRS availability. And there's only a handful of drivers in that range at the moment. Let's have a quick look at Doctor on the rear of Feathercamp. Feathercamp kicking up dust into Doctor's face. He doesn't want that racing point anywhere near him. And he says, look, I'm going to throw some dust in your face. And he's actually throwing it in the pits. Is that damage then on the Mercedes? I think it must be. DRS has been enabled. That's confirmation of that. So let's have a look. Anthony is relatively close to the back of Just Chilling. Let's quickly throw those tyres back on. So yeah, Just Chilling on the mediums. Anthony trying to make use of those grippier softs to get up after him. Complete mix of strategies further back. For the people who have stopped, we've got 2 people on softs, 2 people on mediums, 3 people on hards. So it's anyone's guess what they're actually going to go for, strategy-wise, at this point in time. But yeah, so let's actually just notice they are quite close to the front. So let's jump up then to race leaders. We're coming up towards turn 11, 12. This is where we're going to see some DRS. Is Mesa going to be close enough? He's got to get the drive off the corner to make use of it. And that's going to be the crucial part. It looks good off the corner. Is he going to go for the move? Jorn looks to be a sitting duck. Mesa's going to go around the outside and up into the lead. Goes Mesa, but Jorn will get DRS almost immediately. Detection point is just there. Obviously he is quite close enough as Julian is looking to make moves on Busted. Nearly getting through just there. But we'll have to sit back now. He'll get another shot in 1 corner time for him. Noosa and Charifing are battling further back. Charifing a little bit off track. Let's switch up back to the race leader. We're going to see any change up there. Not on that straight. Jorn's going to try and get the power down and come back after him. He's quite far back. Julian's going to be trying to do the same on Busted. Getting the drive off this turn 2 is so crucial. Julian has got said drive off the corner. But is he close enough? The answer to that is no, he is not close enough. Let's look further back again. And Noosa, Charifing and Kimi. Kimi's not quite close enough, but Noosa's definitely close enough. In before he goes, Charifing is under threat. Noosa's going to... Ooh! A little bit of nudging going on there. And Noosa's has a little spin. Took a little nudge from Charifing and put himself in a spin. Beaker's nowhere near, so it's just time Noosa's going to lose. Doesn't appear to have any wing damage as a result. He looks clean. Did lose place to Kimi, but At least he's not picked up any damage. Julian gets past Busted on the exit of turn 10. Busted must have had a terrible drive for that because Julian is far and far away from him now. Yawn and Mason are still battling. Point 3 is the gap up there. We'll see some action on the home straight in a moment. Let's have a quick look down. Kimi battling with Jarifing. They are for the last of the points positions. Kimi's got the DRS. Is he going to be close enough? I don't think so. Unless he goes for a crazy dive. And the answer to that is no, he's not going for a crazy dive. But in the lead, still nothing happening there. Absinthe is starting to come into this as well. These guys trying to battle each other, bringing Absinthe slowly into the frame. He is within that DRS zone. And he'll be trying to stick into that DRS zone as we come through the next few corners. Further back, once again, we have a look at Kimi and Jarifing. Kimi is right there this time. Jarifing goes defensive down the inside. Kimi trying to come round the outside. Not quite there. Forced onto the grass. I have to have another go at it here, but Jarifing got a better drive off the corner as a result. And oh, hello Nathan. Where did you come from? I think Nathan must have had a spin. I just did not. Oh, he's having a big lag. There is Nathan. Nathan, as a result, has disconnected, unfortunately. And that means he's going to be a sitting duck to everyone. And they can just drive straight through, and they do get DRS from him. But Nathan disconnecting then. He was in a good position to pick up some points today. He will be in a less so good position now. As Kimi and Char, I think, are battling here for what is 9 and 10 now. It's no longer the last of the points positions, it's 1 or 2 points. Meanwhile, out front, 1, 2, 3 getting close together. Still ball with Kimi. He's going to get the drive off here. Char, I think, got a terrible drive. Kimi should take advantage of this and try and send it around the outside. He's going around the outside now. A little bit of nudging going on. He still can't find a way through, but Charifing is conceding the position for now. And he's going to slot in behind Kimi. And he will now try and go on the home straight. He's got to get the drive off the corner. Kimi looks to have got a much better drive. Charifing's fighting the rear of that car, and Kimi is out of sight already. So it'd be hard for Charifing. He'll close up a little bit, but nowhere near enough to make the said overtake. Yeah, he's just too far back at this point in time. Let's have a look at the race lead then. Mesa and Yawn still going at it. We're on lap 6 of 29. Be interesting to see when they're going to start pitting and see if anyone's fancying a slightly early pit stop than planned to go for that undercut. We've got a yellow flag ahead. Who's that? That's a car stricken. That's Dennis. That's no, he's not having a good day, is Dennis. He's already had one incident. He's just had an incident all on his own at Vegas Corner. And I think that might be more front wing damage than for the Alpha Man. We'll have a quick look at him. Is that wing damage, or is he just, did he save it? Oh, his back end is sliding all over the place. He's not quite got the balance of that car sorted. Yawn has the balance sorted. He's battling with Mesa here for the lead still. Yawn made the jump on Julian at the start of the race. Mesa took it back a couple of laps ago. Now Yawn wants it back. As Beaker and Nathan, no surprise there, swap. Doctor and Anthony going at it for P7 and 8. Point 2 is the gap now. Doctor with DRS. Mode 4 coming up after Anthony. Anthony goes to the racing line. Doctor tries to come down the inside, just too far back to even consider a serious move into there. Meanwhile, behind, Kimi and Jarifing are still going over. Jarifing's just too far back at this point to realistically be making a move. And he'll have Noosa on his back end. They'll resume hostilities after their earlier coming together. Noosa now right on the edge of that DRS zone. That 1 second window. He's dipping in and out. Hopefully he can get inside of it before he gets to the extra point so he can use that. And good news for Noosa is that Kimi's actually pulling away from Charifin. And now Char won't have his own DRS to defend against Noosa. And Noosa is coming like a rocket. Up front, Just Chillin' is on the rear of Busted. This for 5th and 6th at the moment. And a big gap starting to form between them and the front runners. So Just Chillin' needs to get past Busted. As Nathan confirms, he did have a game crash, unfortunate for him. If you can get back in, he'll still be in the race. As JC goes through up into P5. Julian picks up a 3-second penalty, the first of the day. And Busted is busted. He's no longer going to be battling for JC. Doctor is not battling at all. He's off track. That's down in turn 1 and 2. And was that a nudge from Anthony, or did he just lose it coming off the corner? Kimi is close-ish to making a move. And he's just 2 seconds back, and Doctor will have a bit of dirt on those tyres. So Kimi might fancy closing up onto the back of him. I also missed Noosa. Must have had a little spin because he's lost out big time. He was on the back of Char, but now he's down in 13th. Unfortunately, I missed that. That's quite annoying. So a few nudges going on around here. A few people losing positions. Let's have a look a bit further back. Nathan and... oh, that's an AI, isn't it? Apologies. Where's Jumbo? He's just about the field, so we'll come back to that one later on. Kimi's now... oh, he was in the DRS zone. Now he's not. And looks like Doctor's defended against that one. Let's keep our eyes on the race lead though. Bjorn is still there. He's not making the move yet. He's in mode 0. He's just biding his time. And is he going to fancy here? No. He's back into mode 0. He's not trying to make a move. He's just sitting on the back. He's got so much ERS to burn though as Bjorn. He can dump a mode 4 down the home straight and really power it. Mace's not doing too bad. He's on 70% himself. So he'll have plenty to use. Doctor is in the pits then, P10. And let's just have a look. Is he going for a nose? No, he's just had enough of those tyres. Spin made him slightly overheat, and he's going for fresh hards as Julian is trying to catch up onto Absinthe. This is for the last of the podiums. Julian hasn't done too bad. I thought he was going to do a bit worse after he got swamped at the start. He has only dropped down to 4th. He's not too far off the battle for the race lead at the moment if he can hold his car through turn 12. DRS to catch up a little bit to Absinthe. And I think we might be starting to approach the pit window for these softs. Probably... oh, Julian lagging all over the place. That's not going to help his cause. And he's right there on the back of Absinthe now. He just needs to drive off this corner and he'll make an easy overtake. And he's got the drive. Absinthe is a sitting duck. Julian is a flying duck. And through he goes. And nothing Absinthe can do now other than sit behind. Try and use a bit of slipstream to keep yourself on the back end of him. There's only so much you can use. Jorn and Mesa still going out in the lead. And nothing to report on up there. Let's have a look further back then. Rainer and Doctor. Doctor coming out on some fresh hards. Rainer on some 7-lap old hards. And I was expecting Rainer to close up a little bit, but Doctor is actually able to use the slightly more grip he's got, but potentially slightly colder hards. They just take forever to warm up to the right temperatures. Let's have a look at the battle just in front of them. Fluffy, Noosa and Jumboy, and they're going out for 12th, 13th and 14th. There's yellow in sector 2. Dennis, he's had enough of this. He's had a horrible race so far. I think that just shows DNFing then on lap 10 of 29. And so where's Jumboy? Jumboy is off track. Not sure what's happened. He's just... maybe it's a alpha thing that they all crash together. So Jumboy having a little excursion off track there. Bit of front wing damage to go with it. And that's one way of taking that corner. Not the normal way. Feather can pick up his 3-second penalty. He's trying to make moves on Char. Is he going to fancy one around the outside? He's going to go for it. And he's got it. That was a great overtake. Might have just got a 3-second penalty, but he just made a beautiful overtake on Char. And Char's now down to P10. Feathercamp with some relatively fresh mediums as Kimi stops. And so does Char. They're saying their softs have run the course. What tyres they're going to go for? Let's have a look. Kimi is going for a set of hards. And comes out ahead of Char. No hold up there for him. Char's got a few penalties to serve. And they look like yellow tyres in his hands. And they are yellow. So Charles going for mediums, and he unfortunately gets held up by the Renault of Noosa. Noosa getting a little bit of payback there for some earlier incidents. Yellow in sector 3. Is that Jumbo having another issue? I think it is. He just can't turn the car with that front right damage. And he's going to bring this one into the pits. He's got to survive the pit lane entry. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And he's coming then. So, battle for the lead is starting to develop. Julian's caught up to the back as both the leaders have pit. Meister and Jorn. Right, battle of the pit team. Who's going to get out ahead? Is Jorn going to get ahead? I don't think he will, because Meister had the earlier pit stop. Mediums for Meister. Absinthe is also in. Where's Jorn? Is he ahead? No, he's just behind. He's also on mediums. Absinthe is there as well, just off the back of these guys. But Jorn is so close coming out of this pit lane. He's going to fancy a chance earlier on this lap, I suspect. But Meister coming in at the same time as Jorn. Interesting call there. I would have thought Jorn might have tried to go for one more lap just to try and get the overcut, but he may have lost too much time on Meister. It might not have been worth it. Depends on the state of his tyres at that point. Right, let's have a look further back. Anthony's in the pits. Where is the battles? There's the battle there. Kimi and Trirona. Kimi on fresh hards, Trirona on 10 up old hards. And it's just a matter of finding grip for these hard compound drivers. They're not the ideal tyres to use at all, as they just really struggle to warm up in situations like this, struggle to give you that grip you need. Kimi probably would have been better put on mediums like the other drivers have ahead of him, but he went for the hards, went for the conservative option. Whether that'll backfire on him as the race goes on, we'll find out. He's got nothing to lose though. He's down in 13th. You'll gain some places when people stop, particularly Trirona and Fluffy Balls, and potentially Beaker as well. Beaker currently up there in 7th on hard tyres. He's got 10 laps in on those hards. I don't know if he's going to try and... He's the type of driver that will make a strange call, like taking those hards to the end of the race. And I wouldn't put it as an... I mean, it is something he would do every day of the week. Try something really quite random. After a first lap incident, particularly, he may fancy something really quite strange like that. He's that type of driver. And Trirona sliding. Kimi's going to try. Oh, I thought he was going to try and go around the outside. He's had to back off there, and now he's going to get the DRS coming down this home straight. Should be a relatively simple overtake for Kimi. That's not a nice camera view, and that's a better camera view. So Kimi then up into P11, or is he? Nudges him off a little bit there potentially. Trirona comes back on. I think Kimi was just well ahead at that point, so Trirona trying to make a corner of it. Should really have backed off. Unfortunately, he ends up in the grass. No damage caused, I don't believe. No, it doesn't look like it. So Trirona learns his lesson not to try and go along, well, not even alongside, along with someone's rear wheel through a corner like that. Char and Noosa swapping places further back. Noosa and Char have been having little tangles so far today. I wonder if there's any more to be had between these two. Noosa's closed up beautifully onto Charifin. Different tyre combos actually. This is interesting. I think Noosa will have to pit again. Looks like he's going for a two-stop strategy here. But he should get a good drive off this corner. Grippier tyres then on the Renault. He just buys his time now. Now he's going to get some DRS here. He just doesn't get the drive off the corner he wants. Just made a little bit too much of the corner. And will not be closing up as Beaker and Busted swap places. Beaker on 12 up old hards. Busted on freshish mediums. Easily taking that overtake, I suspect. Now is Noosa going to make the move here on Charifin. He's going to get the drive off the corner that he needs. That was good. DRS open. Mode 3 only for now. Charles going defensive, taking the middle line. Noosa knows he's got another straight. If he just does a corner properly like that, he has a chance. Oh, a little bit of nudging going on there. Now Noosa is alongside. He's going to take this position. Charifin laid on the brakes. Can't do anything about it. And up into P14 goes Noosa. And Charles got it all to do again from behind. Down there in 15th. So let's have a look once again at Jorn and Meister. They are still going at it. These guys took the lead earlier on. Jorn took the lead off the start line. Then Meister managed to make the move back after, I think it's about 5 laps. And since then Jorn has been all over the back of Meister. Just hasn't been able to find a part to overtake. Maybe he's just saving things up for a late dive later in the race. We've only just got to the half race distance, so no need to rush just yet. Current race leader is Julian. He's got a 20-second lead over Meister, so that's not too bad for him. He will be having to stop along with Just Chillin'. And later on, they're both on 14-lap old mediums, and they'll probably be stopping in about 5 laps time, as I would have thought, and then going for a lovely quick sprint on those softs. And it's going to be so crucial where they come out. They're going to have to come out ahead. Well, they're going to come out ahead of Feathercamp, that's for sure, because the gap between Absinthe and Feathercamp is 14 seconds. They obviously want to come out, if they can, ahead of Absinthe and behind Jorn. Ideally in front of Jorn and Meister, but that's for Julian. Obviously, Just Julian will come out a bit further back. And that's going to be the crucial part, is where Julian, can he push that car to come out ahead of these two. These two effectively are your net race leaders here in 3rd and 4th, as Beaker picks up a 3-second penalty back there in 8th place. Jorn is kicking into mode 4 on these straights now. It's just not close enough to make a move. He just needs to get the drive off and hope Meister doesn't get a good drive off to try and make a move at this stage. Meister knows how to race, that's one thing for sure, but one thing Meister knows is that his ERS level is looking quite low, especially when you compare it to Jorn behind. Jorn's on 97, Meister is on 35. Jorn can just stick it into mode 4 or 3 pretty much on these sorts of straights, as he has done. Just use that to close up onto Meister, burn off more of Meister's, and sooner or later Meister will have nothing left, as Julian picks up his 2nd penalty of the day. 6 seconds for him. That could be a difference between, at the moment, that could be a difference between a race winner and a podium. Well, not even getting a podium, he might end up 4th. Depends where he comes out again. He's still to make that pit stop. He's getting towards the pit window. I'm expecting him in around lap 20, 21. Again, depends on how he's driving that car. He has got a nice bit of clean air now, so it's Just Chilling. That's going to be really important for those two. Just clean air means tyres are less overheating, means they're going to last longer. This is yellow in sector 1. That's not Julian, is it? No, it's not. But he's coming up to where it was. There it is. Who was that? Was that Char? That was Char. Char's doing donuts. And a bit of front wing there. I think he just lost it off turn 4. And yeah, there is no front wing left on that Red Bull. And he's got to be careful though, because his teammate is on the way and he won't want to block him. And Just Chilling, looking up to his name there in 2nd, Just Chilling for a little bit. 13 seconds off the back of Julian. He's got a 5-second lead over Meister at the moment. Obviously Meister is battling with Jorn. That's the one thing going for Julian and Just Chilling. Is Meister is under pressure. As trying a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. Not good news for him. Down, he was in 12th, he's now down in 13th. He'll drop again before he comes out of the pits. So this, let's have a look further back actually. Doctor and Anthony, they are getting close. Kimmy, 3-second penalty to his name. Penalties are starting to come thick and fast now. As the race goes on, more people make little mistakes. Yellow in sector 3, is that Char having another off? It might have been having a little off, but he's back on and going again. As Mute is on the rear of Tryrain. Tryrain has just come out of the pits, right in front of Mute, so not a bad pit stop timing there. He's got a 10-second gap up front now. Julian has finally pitted. A little earlier than I thought, but if you can make those softs last to the end, he'll be in good setting. And we'll see. So he's come out in 5th place. He's 10 seconds off the back of Absinthe, a bit further back than I expected him to be. So he's got it all to do now. He needs to effectively find over a second a lap on Absinthe, Yawn and Meister. We'll see. He'll obviously expect to see him set the fastest lap next time around. So let's have a look at Yawn and Meister. Currently your second and third place. They're starting to catch up to JC in first, as Yawn's aggressively hitting those corners. Crucially though, not losing the back end off turn 12. I think JC must be coming in this lap. He's under getting a bit of pressure from behind. And let's see, is he coming in? Yes, he is. So I start ball with him. Just watch him in. You see why it's so difficult at times. Just nudging that wall on the left is so easy to do. And just check, is in then. 17 laps on those mediums, or 18 in the end. So he will drop down. Let's have a look at this battle still going on for the lead. Less than a second still between them. It's been up and down for a while now. It's never really been about 3 or 4 tenths or less. It's just never really got that low. And that's what Yawn needs to do. He needs to step it up and get up onto the back end of Meister if he wants to try and take this win. Meister must be feeling the pressure. And crucially for these guys, no penalties for these ones. The only penalties are Julian with 6, Feathercamp with 6, Beaker with 3, Kimmy with 3, and Tri Rayner also with 3 seconds. There's a few 5 seconds as well floating about. They get added on at the end. Unfortunately, they could also be, well, not unfortunately, they get served in the pit stops if they pit, so they disappear off the tracker. As Yawn has actually just fallen back outside of DRS from Meister, 1.2 seconds. Is he just dropping back because his engine started to get a little bit warm? Is he just cooling everything down? He's going to go for a last few laps charge at the race leader. It does make a bit of sense, 'cause in F1 2019, engine temperatures and over revving, gearboxes are so much more important, and you've got to moderate those temperatures in that engine. And maybe that's what Yawn's doing. He's just dropping off Meister for a little bit, just to cool everything down. Get himself set and go again later, as Julian does set that fastest lap at 23.24. He's now on a charge. Let's have a look quickly. What's Busted going to do this lap? Let's just give us an idea of their time. It's a whole lot slower. Look at that. It's 3 seconds slower than Julian. Julian has already closed up 4 seconds onto the back of Absinthe, and he does have a back marker ahead of him. He's not Absinthe, obviously. That is Jumboy just ahead of him, down there in 16th, so Julian will get past him relatively easily. Hopefully for Julian's sake, he might get a bit of DRS. That will help him close up onto the back of Absinthe, who is 5.6 seconds ahead of Julian at this point. Jumboy is getting blue flags. I think Julian's quite happy at the moment. If he can close the gap to less than a second, he'll get that DRS on this rate. He does. So that's worked out well for him. Jumboy helping him out a little bit there, whether or not he knows that. And now he gets out of the way. Julian flies on by. Tri-Runner gets another penalty. He's up to 6 seconds down there in 13th. As Julian is 4.3 seconds then off the back of Absinthe. Absinthe is 8 seconds off the rear of Yawn. And we've got a little battle starting to develop here between the Mercedes and Anthony, as Jumboy has retired. Unfortunately, I haven't seen where it was. I just want to stay with this as Feathercamp a little bit of corner cut. Going to make a move here on Anthony. Anthony can't do much. Feathercamp has much grippier tyres. And through he goes. And Kimmy's going to look to try and come through as well at some point, as Charifin just goes past Jumboy. Not sure entirely where that accident was. We'll try and find out. AI of Nathan should give us a good clue. Is it coming off this corner? Is he just bend up on the left? Not sure where it was. Was it pit? It can't be in pit lane. I think it was just coming off the final corner then for Jumboy. Just bend it in the wall on the left hand side. So let's have a look. Kimmy got past Anthony as well. Apologies for missing that. So Kimmy up into P10. Anthony is there in P11, hoping to stay on the rear of Kimi. Kimi has that 3 seconds penalties to his name. And Feathercamp is flying. He's now up to the back end of Doctor. Doctor on 12 lap old hards versus Feathercamp's fresh softs. This should be a relatively simple overtake for Feathercamp to get to the point that he wants to make it. Further up there, Julian 1.2 seconds now off the back of Absinthe, who's nearly 10 seconds off the back of Yawn. And Feathercamp should make light work here of Doctor. Pulls out the slipstream, DRS wide open, and just slides on through. Nothing Doctor can really do at this point. Out that third and fourth place is Absinthe and Julian once again. They are still going at it. 0.8 is the gap there. Now 0.7. That gap is tumbling down. Julian needs to make this move because he's got to get ahead and clear of Absinthe. He has 6 seconds of penalties to his name, so he needs either Absinthe to pick up a penalty to make it a little bit easier for him, or Julian needs to get past and find a 6-second lead. We're on lap 22 or 29. It's not going to be an easy task, so we'll stay with him for a little bit and see. This should be the simple overtake here. Absinthe just didn't get the drive off that he wanted. Julian doesn't go through as easy as he wants. Absinthe is not making this easy for him. And no, Julian just didn't get it. He's trying to switch back a little bit, a nudge there in the back of Absinthe, gets away with it. He will get DRS down the home straight. Even if he makes the overtake, he'll still have it. And he's just trying to find a way through at this point in time. Now he's going to get the DRS. Pulls out alongside him. DRS open, mode 4. And Julian is through. Absinthe isn't going to give up. He's still there. No, he's not. He's gone now. So Julian up into P3. Now he needs to absolutely nail it for the next few laps. He needs a 6-second lead over anyone to maintain that position. So far, even JC down there in 5th will take that place off him. JC on 1 lap fresher soft tyres, and that could be quite crucial for him. At the moment, Absinthe will take P3 back off Julian. So crucial then for the Ferrari man to go and just go, basically. Just go away from everyone, increase that lead. As Fluffy Balls and Anthony. Anthony's dropping yet another place. And through goes Fluffy Balls up into P11. He's now going to be setting his sights on Kimi, who has that 3-second penalty up there in 10th. Anthony just won't be coming back. No surprise there. And no DRS to even try to come back. And Fluffy Balls up into P11. 4.5 off the back of Kimi as Mute pits then from P14. And he's going to go for a fresh set of softs. Beaker looks like he's going to try and go to the end on these hards. He's got a 7-second lead over Feathercamp. Feathercamp is on 4 lap old softs. Beaker's on 21 lap old hards. And Feathercamp has a penalty to his name. He's actually got a fair few actually. This is 9 seconds for him so far. So that's good news for Beaker. Means he's likely to hold on to P7. Assuming he doesn't have puncture. Touch wood, obviously. So let's have a look at him actually. See how he's getting on these rather old hards. He's just started lap 24, 29, 5 to go then. Yawn is starting to creep back in towards Mace's DRS. He was 1.1, now he's 1.2 or 1.3-ish back from the race leader. He'll be looking to get inside that DRS zone. Actually, having said that, he's just lost a couple of tenths quite quickly. Beaker is... just wondering if Beaker's going to try and close up to the back of Busted. Busted is on really old mediums, but Beaker's on really old hards. Down to pace, I don't know who's quicker. I've not seen Busted before. I've seen Beaker a fair few times. Just showing 3-second penalty. That's not good, but not... it is not good. He's sort of within shooting range, and that is good news for Beaker though. Well, Beaker has 3 seconds of his own, so that now nullifies the penalty between Busted and Beaker. So he'll now see if he can try and close up to Busted. But JC's 3-second penalty means he will not be taking position off Julian. As we've got a yellow in sector 1, and it's clear already. No, it's not. Is that Char having another spin? Well, he's facing the wrong way, so I'm going to say yes. That's not a place you want to be sitting. In the middle of the track facing the wrong way. That's quite scary to just see the cars flying around that corner. Char now down into P17. Let's go back up towards the front. Not a huge amount of action on the track at the moment, but Jorn, has he saved up everything that he needs to close up onto the back of Meister? 1.3 is the gap. He's running quite low on ERS now. Fluffy Ball's 3-second penalty down there 11th. Kimi has a few penalties in front of him, so maybe that could have just cost Kimi a points position. Let's have a look at Meister's ERS. 40 odd percent, 45%. Jorn on 25%. And that's why Jorn's struggling to close up on Meister. Meister's got a bit more to dump down and pull away from Jorn at this point in time. I think Jorn might know that. He needs to try and up it a bit to get onto the back of Meister. He does have a back marker coming up. That's the only saving grace for Jorn right now. Let's see if that back marker can do him a little favour and hold up Meister just a little bit. Not endorsing back markers holding up drivers, but if it creates racing, yeah. And back marker is definitely not holding up. It's Nusu's well out of the way. Through goes Meister and Jorn quite easily. No time lost between them. But Jorn is 1.1 seconds now off the back of Meister. He just needs to link these corners together right here. He might just nick DRS. It was close. He's not got it, unfortunately. It's just outside of it. He's now creeping back in. And he has now got less than a second. This corner is going to be so crucial for Jorn. If he can nail the exit, I think he might just get DRS. He will. Down the home straight. So this will bring Jorn right into it. As Kimi and Doctor are going right at it as well. Down there in 9th and 10th. Jorn is just over a second back. Let's switch back to P9-10. Doctor and Kimi. Less than a second between them. They are well off the back of Feathercap, up there in 8th. So we'll see if they can make anything happen for themselves. Kimi with some penalties to his name though, which could be crucial come the end of the race. As Mute has pitted. Down there in 15th, he's not really got much to lose. Nathan so far back and an AI that he's not really going to lose too much. He has got the fastest lap though, I believe. Let's just double check that. He does, a 22.9, which is considerably faster than, it's even faster than, well, it's only just faster than Julian, but it's faster than most people on the track. So Layers have lapped up to 14th place so far. As Kimi with that DRS just closing up a little bit. Now he needs to get these corners. He's got the right gap. Now he just needs these corners to work for him. They look to right, but he's just not going to be close enough unless he's going for an audacious dive. I thought he was. He pointed it in the right direction and then started to brake. I thought, oh, he's not going for that, is he? That's too far back. But Jorn still in that DRS zone of Meister. 0.7 is the gap out front. 2 laps to go. What has Jorn got? Has he got anything left to make a move on Meister? He's not got much ERS. Meister's got twice the amount. It's Red Bull versus Toro Rosso. And are we going to see a Red Bull beat Toro Rosso, or is the sister team, the little sister, going to beat the big brother? As Nusa picks up a 3-second penalty back there in 14th. Shouldn't cost him too much. No one really near him back there. And speaking of being near, actually, sorry, Jorn. Kimi and Doctor going at it. They've got Anthony, Fluffy Ball, sorry, right on their rear as well. Fluffy Ball's on 14-lap-old mediums. And this could be bad news for Doctor. He's on 18-lap-old hards. Kimi's looking to try and make moves. Fluffy Balls is trying to make moves as well. Kimi's gone through, then up into P9. Doctor's now got his mirrors full of a Haas. And that Haas is Fluffy Balls. He's got balls hanging from the mirror. And side by side, it gives him room on the exit. It looks like Oh, that's bad. They're both spun. Both spun, and did Fluffy Balls avoid damage? He did. And I think it's more of a... Oh, okay. That was a bit of a mistake there by Dogs. Just nudged off Fluffy Ball's front wing. They both lost out time-wise, and Anthony has taken the last of the points positions from Doctor. And Doctor has a lot to answer for. He's just nudged off Fluffy Ball's front wing. Whose fault was it? Don't know. I'm going to leave that one to the stewards. It could have been either of their fault. One could have turned in too much, the other could have not turned in at all. But I think Doctor has a case to answer for nudging off Fluffy Ball's front wing. But again, that's for the stewards to decide, not for me. Doctor is trying to catch up onto Anthony. Mute has gone fastest. Let's have a look. Where is Race Leader? Race Leader is a few corners away for now. Yawn is not going to be close enough. They're on the final lap. So nothing is going to change up front unless Mason makes a huge mistake. Just Chilling is actually caught up in the back of Absinthe. Is he going to make a move here? We're on the final lap. Julian has that 6 seconds covered off from Absinthe. Good news for Julian. He's going to take that podium position. And Just Chilling trying to go around the outside. Last side by side they go. Only 3 corners left. Absinthe is still on the inside. JC's going to go around the outside. Runs wide. Inside corner from now. Mason has won the race. This one isn't over though. JC wants this position off Absinthe. And it's going to take the position. He has the DRS as well to go with it. Great battling there between these two. JC ends up dropping back anyway through his 3-second penalty. Feathercap and Beaker. Beaker on 27 lap old hards. I said he likes to do crazy strategies. He's going for a crazy strategy. Feathercap will take a big knock in penalties anyway. So hopefully he's not going to make anything silly of this. Beaker going to hold on, taking P7. Feathercap will take P8. No swapping in the penalties. Doctor, Fluffy Balls, Anthony. This is for last points position. Doctor, late braking. Is that going to make a big mistake? He's off track. Where is Fluffy Balls? All over the back of him. Switches to the inside there. Just no room, but he's going to try for the take on the exit. He's got no front. They've both got no front left wing. Fluffy Balls takes the position off Doctor. Fluffy Balls will take P11. Doctor will take P12. And any swapping in the penalties? Yes, so Doctor takes it anyway. Well, action-packed first few laps, a little bit quiet in the middle, and then just action for the last few laps all over the place. But there you go, Mesa taking the win. Returning champion returns to be on the top step of the podium for the opening race. And what a race it was. He was pressured the whole way by Yawn after he took the lead, but in the end Yawn just didn't have enough to get past the Red Bull and take that win. And joining him up there is Julian. He may have had a few penalties, but his strategy wasn't too bad. He started on the mediums, went to the softs, unfortunately couldn't gain his position back at the front. And 6 seconds penalties was named, didn't help. There you go, full confirmation of those final results then. Mesa from Yawn by Julian. Absinthe in 4th. Just Chilling, and just behind him. He was hit by a 3-second penalty after, but he still battled even to the last with Absinthe. Busted in 6th, Beaker 7th, 8th was Feathercamp, 9th was Kimmy, and last of the points was Anthony. Just missing out then, Doctor, Fluffy Balls, Trirena, Noosa, Mute, Sharifin, Nathan, sorry, not Anthony. Nathan unfortunately disconnecting through a game crash as a result, 17th. Jumboy and Dennis, both the Alphas, unfortunately crashing out. Bad day for those two. Hopefully they'll come back strong next time out. And so obviously next time we will be in Bahrain. So thanks for everyone being here for this race. Join me same time and next week. I bid you farewell.